Once, Centralia was a town alive with the rhythm of human life. Streets echoed with laughter, doors opened to bustling homes, and the air smelled of coal smoke and fresh bread. Children ran through alleys chasing each other, dogs barked at passing cars, and families filled the sidewalks with chatter. There were shops at every corner, factories humming tirelessly, and streets lined with trees that offered shade and comfort. Every stone, every fence, every cracked sidewalk carried stories of the people who lived here. It was ordinary, familiar, and alive, a place where history and daily life intertwined seamlessly. Now, it is a place swallowed by silence. The same streets that once rang with the sounds of life are empty, cracked, and silent. Buildings lean precariously, their windows shattered, revealing interiors where dust drapes over broken furniture like a shroud. Rust claims every metal surface, creeping along gates, cars, and machinery, turning objects of utility into monuments of decay. Weeds push through asphalt cracks, bending and breaking in the wind, as if nature itself is eager to reclaim the land. The fog drifts between abandoned rooftops and empty yards, curling around chimneys and staircases, softening the edges of the world and hiding the stories trapped inside. The town is alive only in absence. Every building seems to watch, a silent sentinel over the ghosts that linger. The streets are veins of memory, cracked and overgrown, leading to nowhere and everywhere all at once. Rusted signs sway gently, creaking as they catch the wind, and broken streetlights tilt over sidewalks that have long surrendered to weeds. Even the trees bend cautiously, their branches heavy with the weight of silence. Nature creeps in, gradually erasing the work of men. Moss climbs walls, vines crawl through broken windows, and flowers bloom stubbornly in places where no seed was planted. It is beautiful and terrifying all at once, a town that remembers, though its people are gone. The playground is still. Rusted swings hang motionless, the slides paint flaking and curled from years of neglect. It is easy to imagine children running here, laughter trailing behind them like smoke. Yet now the only sound is the whisper of wind, the faint shifting of fog, the ghost of motion frozen mid-action. The benches are cracked, the sand scattered and dusty, and the shadows seem too long, lingering as though aware of your presence. Even standing in the middle of this empty place feels like trespassing through someone else's memory, a place where time has paused. Each house tells its own story. The school, once alive with the chatter of children, sits abandoned, its classrooms empty and desks overturned. Books lay scattered across the floors, pages curled and yellowed. Chalkboards are smeared with the remnants of lessons no longer taught, and the faint sunlight that enters through shattered windows catches dust particles drifting slowly, like tiny spirits frozen in flight. The factory is a skeleton, rusted machines frozen mid-motion, chimneys crumbling but still reaching for the sky. The workers are gone, the smoke is gone, yet you can almost hear the faint echoes of footsteps and clanging metal. Cracked streets guide the eye through the town like veins leading to its heart. The town square is empty, its fountain dry and cracked, benches overturned. Once people gathered here to talk, to laugh, to share their lives. Now it is a stage for absence, for shadows, for the memories that cling stubbornly to walls and streets. Every step on the pavement feels like intrusion, each crack and pothole a reminder of how fragile human effort is when faced with time and neglect. The church towers above everything else, silent and watchful. Its stained glass windows are shattered, colours bleeding into the greyness of the world. The bell never rings, and yet the steeple seems to toll quietly with the passing of days, counting out the absence of life. The cemetery beside it is heavy with mist. Tombstones lean as though bowing under unseen weight, names eroded by wind and rain, dates fading into obscurity. The air carries a faint scent of damp earth and decay, mingled with the faint memory of flowers that may have once been placed here. It is peaceful and eerie, a reminder that even in death, memory persists. Nature has claimed more than just the ground. Rusted vehicles sit like tombs along cracked streets, their frames consumed by oxidation, paint flaking like old skin. Fences lean against empty yards, street signs bend in unnatural angles, even the remaining machines, the remains of factories and warehouses, groan silently under their own rust. Cracked pavement allows moss and grass to creep upward, blending the human world with the wild, until it is difficult to tell where civilization ends and nature begins.
Walking through the town, one can sense the weight of absence. The silence is nearly deafening, broken only by the faint whistle of wind through broken windows or the subtle creak of a leaning sign. Every building seems to lean forward slightly, eager to tell a story, each shadow stretching unnaturally as if the town itself is aware of being observed. The old library waits with rotting books on shelves, cobwebs connecting knowledge to emptiness, while the supermarket parking lot sits cracked, weeds overtaking the concrete, abandoned shopping carts scattered like forgotten memories. Industrial ruins dominate one edge of town, chimneys rising like skeletal fingers. Warehouses collapsed, concrete cracked and broken. Railroads twist into the fog, disappearing as though swallowed by the town itself. The old bridge stretches over a riverbed long dry, a path to nowhere, a monument to journeys never taken. Every corner of the town whispers stories if you listen closely, tales of laughter and work, of life and despair, of a community erased yet lingering in memory. The streets feel alive in their stillness. Cracked asphalt and overgrown sidewalks guide the eye like a map of a town suspended between past and present. Rusted vehicles, collapsed roofs, broken fences, they are the skeleton of a life once lived. And yet, the fog curling along the streets and rising from fissures in the asphalt makes everything feel ethereal, unreal, like walking through a painting frozen in decay. Here, in this abandoned place, time bends. You can feel it pressing down heavy and slow. Shadows linger long, stretching across the streets and buildings, thickening as the sun moves behind clouds. Even when no one is present, the town seems aware, watching, remembering every step. Every glance feels like trespassing into a world paused mid-breath, mid-action, mid-memory. In Centralia, life once thrived. Now, absence dominates. Rust, fog, cracked streets, leaning buildings, and silent factories form a tapestry of memory, sorrow, and haunting beauty. Nature creeps in, reclaiming what humans left behind, turning the town into a monument both eerie and fascinating. Standing here, it is impossible not to feel the ghost of a world long gone, trapped forever in the cracks and mist, in the hollow echoes of streets and buildings, in the silence that remembers everything. The town spreads endlessly beneath the fog, every street a ribbon of cracked asphalt, every building a monument to absence. Rusted chimneys claw at the sky, skeletal reminders of industry long silenced. The factory yards are silent, machines frozen mid-motion, their shadows stretching unnaturally in the dim light. Even the railroads seem hesitant, twisting into mist, leading nowhere, carrying only memories of trains that once roared through the town. Abandoned homes line the streets, windows shattered, doors hanging ajar. Inside, dust drifts through empty rooms, settling over toppled furniture, broken toys, and scattered photographs. The faint light that filters through the broken panes casts long shadows, painting a picture of lives paused mid-breath. The silence is palpable, almost heavy enough to touch, broken only by the occasional creak of a leaning sign or the distant whistle of wind through a hollow chimney. Every corner tells a story, if you are brave enough to see it. The church cemetery sits shrouded in fog, tombstones leaning, names eroded, dates disappearing into time. Flowers bloom stubbornly in cracks and weeds, tiny defiant bursts of color against the gray decay. The playground swings sway slowly, moved by the wind, or perhaps by some memory left lingering in the air. Broken benches and toppled slides speak of children long gone, of laughter silenced, but somehow still present, echoing faintly across empty streets. Even the streets themselves seem alive. Cracks in the pavement guide the eye like veins through a body long dead. Rusted cars rest as tombs, abandoned bicycles lean against fences, and every fence leans a little too far, as if bowing under the weight of forgotten stories. Nature slowly consumes. The town vines crawl through windows, moss blankets rooftops, and weeds push through every stone and crack. The town is no longer human. It belongs to the fog, the decay, and the echoes of the past. As the sun dips behind clouds, shadows grow longer, stretching across streets and buildings. Centralia waits silently, watching, remembering. Every crack, every broken window, every abandoned structure is a witness to life that once was. Time has paused here, but memory lingers. Standing in the midst of it all, one can almost hear the town breathing, alive only in its absence, haunted by the echoes of everything it has lost. Centralia is not just abandoned. It is alive with the weight of memory, a ghost town frozen in time, and a silent warning of how quickly life can disappear, leaving only shadows, rust, and fog to tell its story.